Maintenance man here. It's another week, and that means another project at Mr. Dog Poop Studios. This week, Mr. Dog Poop wants me to build him a hospital room or an emergency room for his series. And knowing that Mr. Dog Poop is the single cheapest man on the planet, he wants me to do it for next to nothing. Well, as you can see, I did it. And I'm going to show you how. So let's talk about how I turned a few dollars into a hospital room. Let's start out with a couch that we got for free, an end table that we got from another shoot, a wheelchair we got for free. It was in a scrap pile. You can pick these up for $25 to $50 all day long on the internet. This was from Amazon. It was $32 for an IV stand. It's adjustable, it goes up and down. This is a heartbeat monitor, blood pressure and oxygen, which works, and it was only just over $100. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't have a heartbeat, so it doesn't really show anything. But a working unit for around $100, I think we paid $115 for it. We got the stretcher for $100 on Craigslist. We did add some wheels and things, but it wasn't necessary for this setup. Then we have an oxygen panel, or a panel. I got this curly cord on Amazon for $10. The little button from Harbor Freight for a starter. The panel is made out of a fence post, and we just added some wall outlets, some Ethernet ports, and some oxygen valves we picked up no good anymore on eBay for about $10 or $15 each. These lights are glued on with a hot glue gun, and they are just clearance lights from a trailer. So they're 12 volt if you wanted to hook them up and make them actually work. We have nebulizer hoses. These are oxygen hoses. You can get all this stuff, the hoses, on Amazon. The IV bag, I think, was about $15, kind of expensive for what it is. So I'm going to push this out of the way. And you can see we just took a plate and welded a couple 5/8" bolts onto it, used 2 grip heads, and then just standard grip arms to hold up this panel, which is connected through 2 TVMP connectors attached to this panel here. And we used a fence post because it's a clear vinyl fence post. It's smooth and clean and nice. You could do it with wood, but it's going to require a lot of work and finishing and not worth it. Piece of fence post, it's cheap, easy to cut holes in it to put these things in. These are nice little touches, and they're very inexpensive. The idea of this setup is that this can be moved at any time. We can take it apart, store it, put it up against the wall, and put it wherever we want. We can also change these, put it up higher or lower. Simple. The monitor, just an extra monitor we had on a C-stand, and then we used a wireless connector to a laptop on the other side of the studio to do this. This is programmable, so we can change these numbers, we can have it change during the shot. We're going to do a whole video about it. Super cool, and the software is free. This bench right here was from our DNA lab. I just threw a couple gloves on it, a medical chart, some tongue depressors, and this is just a canister from Amazon or eBay for putting sugar, flour, tea bags, whatever you want in there. And we got some tongue depressors. Popsicle sticks. Some Kim wipes that we use for cleaning the lenses, and we thought this was just kind of a nice cart here. Again, we already had it, so we didn't spend any money. This is just a food tray, stainless steel food tray, a pair of scissors, some tape that you probably have for your audio, and some gauze, which guaranteed, if you're in a building, they have a medical kit. a first aid kit, grab some things out of it, throw some Band-Aids on there or something. Then we added a curtain over here because on the other side is Mr. Dog Poop's office. We used 2 C-stands, 2 TV MP connectors on the top with a little pole, and this happens to be aluminum pipe, but we use structural pipe. We can open that whole thing up. Now, the medical curtains from the hospitals are about 150 bucks. These were 15 bucks. Fabric shower curtains. Really wanted an open space. It looks like a big room. It's probably too big for a hospital room because you wouldn't have this much space in a hospital room, but we wanted a room to be able to fit in the crew, the sound, any special effects people that we're putting in here. We could always move that over. We could move this over or do whatever to kind of squeeze that room down because hospital rooms typically are about half this size. The nice thing about having a studio is when we get all these props, we can reuse them over and over again. This can be used in a lot of different scenes. The couch is a hotel couch. Works in a hospital. Wheelchair. How many uses for a wheelchair? Tons of uses, right? Stretcher, pushing people in and out. A lot of this stuff gets thrown out. We got a working unit for $100. If you get a non-working unit, it's gonna be 10, 15, 20 bucks if you can find one. We can keep adding to it, we can keep expanding, we can make other things, we can move things around, we can change the bed so that it looks more like a hospital bed than a gurney. So you really don't have to spend a lot of money to build a hospital room. We spent under $300 to do this whole layout. So if you're filming a hospital scene and you need a hospital room, shop around for a few pieces and you too can build a cheap hospital room. And you too can build a cheap hospital room. Oh, now you're just stressing me out. A believable hospital room for your next. So if you want a believable hospital, you too can build fuck it. Just fucking put something together.